Welcome back again, everyone. It's Dina Kalmeta here with CWW7 News. And for this next broadcast, I'd like to bring you some updates concerning Israel, Syria, as well as China, India, the United States, and North Korea. But I'd like to first start with this report from Reuters. And they are reporting that France has stated they will strike Syria if chemical weapons are found. Here's that report. President Emmanuel Macron said on Tuesday that France will strike if chemical weapons are used against civilians in the Syrian conflict, in violation of international treaties, but that he had not yet seen proof that this was the case. He said last May that the use of chemical weapons would represent a red line. In a telephone call with the Russian President Putin on Friday, he expressed concern over signs that chlorine bombs had been used against civilians in Syria. He told reporters that on chemical weapons, I set a red line, and I affirm that red line. If we have proven evidence that chemical weapons proscribed in treaties are used, we will strike the place where they are made. Today, our agencies, our armed forces, have not established that chemical weapons, as set out in treaties, have been used against the population. The Syrian government has repeatedly denied using chemical weapons. It goes on further to report that Syria signed the international treaty banning chemical weapons and allowed monitors to destroy its poison gas arsenal after an agreement reached in 2013 to avert U.S. retaliation for what Washington said was a nerve gas attack near Damascus that killed more than 1,000 people. Washington again accused Syria of using nerve gas last year and struck Syrian targets. Reuters is also reporting that the Syrian government said on Tuesday that Israel would face more surprises in future attacks on Syria's territory after Syrian air defenses shot down the Israeli F-16 jet, also stating that they have full confidence the aggressor will be greatly surprised because it thought that this war of attrition Syria has been exposed to for years, had made it incapable of confronting attacks. God willing, they will see more surprises whenever they try to attack Syria. On Sunday, Benjamin Netanyahu stated that Israeli forces would press ahead with Syria operations despite their loss of advanced warplane, the first it has lost to the enemy in 36 years. Israel's defense minister stated that there are no limitations on military operations, and nor do we accept any limitations. We will respond to every provocation. We will continue to defend our vital security and other interests. And I would like to paraphrase the well-known saying, this is not the time to bark. This is the time to bite. Those are some fighting words coming out of Israel, and I have no doubt that they mean it. But I will definitely continue to keep you updated as these reports continue to be developed. But I'd like to move on and talk about China and India next. I have a report here from RT News, and they are reporting that China has stated that they will take action if India sends troops to the Maldives. State media has warned that Beijing will take action if India sends troops to Maldives. It comes after a Supreme Court in the Maldives overturned the conviction of an opposition politician, prompting a political crisis. An editorial in the state-run Global Times stated that India should exercise restraint. Without UN empowerment, there would be no righteous cause for any armed force to intervene. China will not interfere in the internal affairs of the Maldives, but that does not mean that Beijing will sit idly by as New Delhi breaks the principle. If India one-sidedly sends troops to the Maldives, China will take action to stop New Delhi. India should not underestimate China's opposition to unilateral military intervention. However, India's Ministry of External Affairs issued a statement aimed at China on Friday, stating, "We note that China has said that Maldives government has the ability to protect the security of Chinese personnel and institutions. We hope that all countries can play a constructive role in Maldives instead of doing the opposite." As tensions continue to rise between China and India, the United States intelligence chief has stated that it's time to make a decision about North Korea. The U.S. Director of National Intelligence warned on Tuesday that time was running out for the United States to act on the threat posed by North Korea's nuclear weapons program. North Korea presents a threat to the United States, and it is likely to conduct more weapons tests this year, says Dan Coates. Decision time is becoming ever close in terms of how we respond to this. Our goal is a peaceful settlement. We are using maximum pressure on North Korea in various ways. The warning came despite an easing of tensions tensions on the Korean peninsula after talks resumed between North and South Korea. While the Trump administration has stressed its preference for a diplomatic solution to the crisis over North Korea's development of nuclear weapons that are capable of hitting the United States, it has warned that all options are on the table, including military ones, to prevent this. Last month, CIA Director Mike Pompeo said North Korea could be only a handful of months away from being able to make a nuclear attack on the United States. Pompeo told Tuesday's hearing that despite the North-South talks, there was no indication there's any strategic change in North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's desire to remain a nuclear threat to the United States. Talk of preventive military strikes has eased since the Koreas resumed dialogue last month, and Washington has appeared to endorse deeper post-Olympic engagement between the two Koreas that could lead to U.S.-North Korean talks. But it has also stressed the need to ramp up sanctions to force North Korea to give up its nuclear weapons. It goes on further to report that Coates stated that North Korea's repeated statements that nuclear weapons were the basis for its survival suggest government leaders there do not intend to negotiate them away. Express News is reporting that North Korea will continue to develop chemical and biological weapons as part of its terror campaign to threaten the United States and its allies, says Dan Coates. North Korea has been fanning fears of World War III with its refusal to shut down nuclear weapons development programs despite international pressure. Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates warned the rogue regime is expected to expand its biological weapons arsenal to increase the number of possible weapons to attack the United States with. He said North Korea will be the most volatile and confrontational weapon of mass destruction threat in the coming year. In addition to ballistic missile tests and growing number of nuclear warheads for these missiles, North Korea will continue its long-standing chemical and biological warfare programs as well. A report carried out by the intelligence company AMPLYFI and Harvard University in 2017 claimed North Korea owns a terrifying arsenal of sick biological weapons which could be dropped over enemy states of Kim Jong-un. The study warned that North Korea would not respect international safety standards or rules of war, a threat which has set alarm bells ringing in South Korea, Tokyo, Washington, and London. The top-ranking intelligence official testified with CIA Director Mike Pompeo and the heads of the FBI National Security Agency in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee to discuss the threat to the United States security posed by North Korea. Mr. Coates said, "State efforts to modernize, develop, or acquire WMDs and deliver systems or underlying technologies constitute a major threat to the United States and to our allies." Right now, as it stands, according to Bible prophecy, we are witnessing Matthew 24:7, Luke 21 verses 9 through 10, as well as Mark chapter 13 verse 7. And we are on the cusp of Isaiah 17:1 and Ezekiel 38:39. So definitely prophecy coming alive right before our very eyes. And I will continue to keep you updated as these reports continue to be developed, but please do leave your comments in the comments section. Tell me what you think. I would love to hear from you. Also, come and visit us on Facebook where I have these stories and many more, as well as our website at www.cww7news.org. All right, everybody, I will see you in my next video. God bless.